Hello, welcome to my channel. So as you might already know, I am a huge fan of Star Wars and the animated shows have a very special place in my heart. I seriously believe that they are some of the best Star Wars content. Speaking of the animated Star Wars shows, I am so excited to unbox these Asajj Ventress sabers from Nsabers today. So these are based on the lightsabers that she has in more recent Star Wars projects. These are the Asajj Ventress pair of neopixel sabers from Nsabers, and I got mine with 32-inch blades. Quite a few of the lightsabers in my collection are from Nsabers, and I've been really happy with the quality, so I'm really excited to try these. As usual, I'm going to talk about character lore while I unbox these. Asajj Ventress has a very unique story, and I just love the complexity of her character. Eek, I'm so excited. She's definitely become a favorite of mine over the years, especially after seeing her character development from Clone Wars through more recent projects like The Bad Batch and Tales of the Underworld. To start at the beginning, Asajj Ventress is born to the Night Sisters on Dathomir, which is the same planet that Darth Maul's from. And if you're unfamiliar with the Night Sisters, they're basically Star Wars witches. Great, we're already at the part where her story gets sad. She was sold to a pirate that took her to a planet called Ratatak, where she met a stranded Jedi and he trained her as his Padawan. Where she met a stranded Jedi named Kynerik, who trained her as his Padawan. When he was eliminated, she really gave into the dark side and did what anyone else in that situation would do, took over the planet. This then led her to meet Count Dooku, who we see her work with throughout Clone Wars as his lead assassin. I remember being surprised by how brutal Asajj was whenever I first watched Clone Wars. Like, she is very skilled in the dark side of the Force and just completely relentless. Also, I think it's really cool that her sabers mimic the design of Count Dooku's saber with the curved hilt. It kind of reminds me of how Luke's Return of the Jedi saber looks a lot like Obi-Wan's saber, with a thin neck design and a similar emitter. While the shape of these sabers is very similar to the ones that she has in Clone Wars, the design is definitely different. The ones that she has in Clone Wars have silver and gray stripes throughout, and they kind of look like a sea snake to me, which I'm really not a fan of because I'm terrified of snakes. So yeah, I definitely prefer the design of her second sabers because it's just a little bit more clean and minimal looking. And it's a huge plus that they don't look like a sea snake. Now for the blades. So 3 years into working with Count Dooku, Darth Sidious gets really sus about the closeness of Ventress and Count Dooku, so he orders Dooku to eliminate Ventress to prove his loyalty. It's giving Insecure. This part of Clone Wars was really heartbreaking, especially from Asajj's perspective, because she had already been through so much, and to be betrayed by someone that you really trust is just terrible. Not that I know what that feels like or anything. I love peeling the plastic off of the blades. It's such a satisfying part of getting new sabers. Thankfully, she was able to escape Dooku's attack, and then she headed back to the planet Dathomir, where she was originally from, and she was greeted by Mother Talzin and the Night Sisters. Mother Talzin is 7'4", by the way. She's like so intimidating, but has the coolest aura. Okay, we have both blades ready now. Anyway, the Night Sisters teamed up with Asajj to take on Count Dooku, but unfortunately they were unsuccessful, leaving the Night Sisters wiped out and Asajj alone again. She then becomes a bounty hunter, which leads her to meet Quinlan Vos, who she works alongside, and then eventually falls in love with, which leads her back to the light side. There's so much more to their story in the Dark Disciple book, but in true Star Wars fashion, they do not live happily ever after. Asajj sacrifices herself to save Quinlan from Count Dooku. The book was released in 2015, so it was a shock to see Asajj return in The Bad Batch in 2024. I always end up dropping these little pieces whenever I'm putting the blade in, so I'm gonna see if I can manage to do it without dropping them. Literally just dropped it. Ooh, before I put this blade in, I'm gonna show it up close. It's cool how it's kind of rectangular shaped, and I like the black and silver combination. This kind of reminds me of the switch on Luke's Return of the Jedi saber, and this is the button for the blade. There's a speaker down at the bottom. Also, it's always kind of a mystery to figure out how to charge sabers like this, but I am a huge fan of when they hide the charging port. So for this one, you take off this piece on the bottom. This too. You also have to take this piece off. Okay, so take off those two pieces, and then this just slides off where the charging port's at. But for now, I'll just put it back together. So back to Asajj's character lore. We find out in Tales of the Underworld that when Asajj was laid to rest on Dathomir in the Dark Disciple book, Mother Talzin actually ended up reviving her, but at the cost of her heart's desire. Why is Star Wars so unnecessarily tragic? I really enjoyed seeing her story continue to play out in Tales of the Underworld, and I definitely feel like they left the story open so they might be able to build off of it more in the future. By the way, Tales of the Underworld is probably my favorite of the Tales of series. I might be lying because the Ahsoka episodes are really good too. The lightsaber battle in the first episode of Tales of the Underworld is just so good. Also, several of Asajj's lines just made me laugh because she's so direct and harsh, it's so funny to me. Oh, it's time to try these out. I wonder what color they'll be set to automatically.
Power on.
Oh, that's cool. This represents the yellow that she has in Tales of the Underworld and the Bad Batch, and this is like the red that she has in Clone Wars. Even though they're different sabers, it's still like very close, so it's cool to see. Oh, by the way, these are 32-inch blades, which I find to be a good length for replicas because 36 inches is a little bit long for my height to spin and hold. I always end up hitting things in the house with 36-inch blades, and 32 inches is just safer for me, so I prefer that length. I had to go get my sister's phone. Okay, I'm gonna try the app control with the saber. Okay, it seems to be connected. Let's see. So this app basically helps you control the color and the volume and all of the different blade settings. Ooh, that's the blaster effect. Let's see. That's called lockup. This is clash. This is just like automatic flash on clash. I'm gonna try some different blade colors. Ooh, this is like light purple. This is really pretty. This is probably one of my favorite blade colors that exists. Blue. A lighter blue. Yellow, I think? I think that was yellow. Oh, another blue. Oh, this is the yellow. This is the setting I'll probably leave it on. But I'll try some other colors anyway. Ooh, this is white like Ahsoka. This one's kind of has a green hue, but it's really pretty. It looks so cool. Like, it's literally daylight right now and it's showing up really well. Green. Ooh, this one's also kind of like a green blue. I like this one. But yeah, this is like Perry the Platypus as a lightsaber blade color. Okay, and we're back to the beginning. I'm gonna put it on not that yellow, that one's more green, but this one. It's a little bit more of a golden yellow and it reminds me of hers. I'm curious what these different effects do, so I'm gonna try them.
Unstable blade.
Oh.
Pulse blade. Rainbow blade.
Ooh. It's cool.
Infinite blade.
Oh, this is just like changing all different colors, which looks like so cool. Pause, I probably should have already clarified this, but these are neopixel sabers. So baselit sabers are just a hollow blade and they project kind of like a really bright flashlight, but neopixel blades actually have electronics throughout the entire blade, so they can light up in all different cool ways, which is why it had all of these effects. Back to its rightful state. Oh my gosh, it looks so pretty. I'm excited to see what they look like next to each other like this. Okay, now I connected to the other saber and I'm gonna put it on the same color as the other one. Okay, wow, this app was surprisingly easy to use, which was nice because I've had some trouble with some of the other apps before, but this one worked really well. By the way, this is what the app looks like, but they also have one that's for Androids. I love them, oh my gosh. I'm so excited about these. So this is what they look like up close with the blades. Once it gets to be a little bit less bright outside, I'm gonna take these out and try spinning them because that's a cool trick. And I'm also gonna connect them together and show you what that looks like. So it's actually been a couple of days since I filmed the first part of this video and I was gonna take these outside to spin the same day, but whenever I went outside, I was attacked by mosquitoes and I ended up with 11 bites, so I decided that I'm just gonna try to spin these in the house and hope I don't break anything. There is a chandelier right there, so I'll do my absolute best not to hit it. Also, just so you can see kind of how long these are, this is like what they look like. I'm like obsessed with them. I think that the like rectangular shape of the hilt is so cool. Okay, I turned the saber volume on because it sounds so much cooler to spin like this. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, it is kind of different spinning with a saber that has a more rectangular handle, because I guess with a circle, it kind of like spins in your hand a little bit. I'm gonna try this again. I'm honestly impressed by how bright these look right now because it's like the middle of the day and it's super sunny outside. That was my leg. The interesting thing about spinning with a saber with a more rectangular hilt is instead of it just staying super straight, like it kind of moves a little bit as far as the direction of the blade. At least because I don't know how to use it properly yet. But instead of, oh no! Okay, as you might have just seen, I just was spinning the lightsaber and I hit the chandelier with the blade like I just said I wasn't gonna do. Which is very ironic because I was trying to be really careful not to do that, but I should not have been spinning the lightsaber towards the chandelier whenever it was right there. I don't know if the actual fixture is broken, but I hit a light bulb and it shattered and went all over this room, and thankfully my sister helped me clean it up. But there was glass kind of everywhere and it shattered because it was so thin. The glass was like so thin on the light bulb. Anyway, the good thing is nobody got hurt. Okay, now for connecting the two sabers together. First you unscrew this piece off of the end of both of the sabers. Now you take this piece, and I just realized that there's actually a spring in here so it's able to fit. So you align it. Okay, so now I was able to twist it on. Okay, I just got it. It looks so cool put together.
Power on.
I'm gonna try it with red blades. Dude, this is so sick. Asajj's story is so unique, and I think it's really cool to see how different she is from any other Star Wars character. I'm really excited to see what else her story may hold in the future because I'm forever an Asajj apologist. Also, shout out to Asajj for this scene in The Bad Batch. Like, she really had the hunter girlies in mind with this. Again, these are the Asajj Ventress sabers from Nsabers, and I feel really good about recommending that company because I have so many sabers from them already, and I know they have great products. Also, you can use my code BLAINE to save on anything on their website. Thank you so much for watching until the end of this video. If you enjoyed and you want to support my content, I'd love for you to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications to see my future uploads. I have several videos in the works that I can't wait to share, but if you have any specific requests, feel free to leave them in the comments. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and may the Force be with you. Feels kind of weird to say may the Force be with you holding a red lightsaber. Kind of contradicting.